Hey everybody, welcome to What's Up Wednesday. I want to talk about a topic that I've addressed before, and that is technology and writing skills for safety professionals. I'm starting to see a prevalence of issues with people being removed from jobs or being released, many of those folks coming our way for work because they're struggling to adopt technology and they struggle with their writing skills. And when I kind of look at our industry, they're kind of two different primary uh, means by which somebody becomes a safety professional, and then there's a hybrid of the two. So the first would be the traditional model where somebody goes to college, gets a degree, enters the workplace, and becomes a safety professional. They kind of intentionally become a safety professional. The second option or the second means would be that somebody kind of comes up through the field and they become an accidental safety professional. I'm kind of a combination of the two. I uh, I accidentally found safety and then I went and got my degree. So, there's that hybrid of the two. But what we find is oftentimes those who have kind of come up from the field entirely, maybe maybe a high school education, maybe just a little bit of college, and they're really, really oftentimes good in the field. They understand the work, they perform the work, they understand the culture, they understand the people, they understand the hazards really, really well, but they struggle in the areas of technology and in their ability to write. And this is becoming a hindrance for many. And as our industry continues to mature and we begin to use technology more and more in reporting and documenting, it's presenting challenges for a lot of safety professionals. And my challenge to people out there where, with whom this resonates is do something to become comfortable with technology. So, YouTube is a great place to watch videos on how to do things. You can obviously use AI searches to learn how to utilize something, whatever it may be, but, get comfortable with the devices, a laptop computer, a tablet, get comfortable with different types of programs. And, if it feels foreign, then do what you can to maybe even take an introductory class online on, getting comfortable with technology. Today, my kids, for example, 19 and 22 years old, they're they were born with technology from day one, whereas most of us were immigrants. I remember when the calculator came out in the 1970s. And when I was in high school, keyboarding was on a typewriter, not a computer. So, we have to learn as we go. And I think it's a little bit harder for us because it's not as natural as being born with that technology in your hand from day one. So that's the first piece is kind of the technology piece. It's really critical, not only to get and maintain certifications, but to be comfortable with technology, ideally to be able to type, not peck. So, learning to type is kind of a combination of writing skills and technology. It's a skill that you have to practice and learn. And there are a lot of different online tools you can use to learn to type without looking at the keys and poking your pointer fingers to type. But the other really big piece of our industry and the big piece of our role and job is the ability to write written correspondence, whether it be reporting observations, whether it be writing a memo, whether it be creating a health and safety policy or plan document. These are incredibly important. And I would say that one advantage we have today, I want to express caution around this, but for those who aren't great at writing, you can always write something and then you can utilize an AI tool such as ChatGPT, copy and paste what you wrote into that tool and ask it to write it in a specific manner. You want it to be concise, you want it to be professional, you want it to be firm, and it will actually help you to write and help you to learn to write. I always encourage anybody who's utilizing AI technology that way to read anything that is developed and to edit it and to make sure that you make it your own. That is definitely the caveat that I would, or the caution that, that I would present to everybody. But the ability to write is really, really important in our profession. If somebody's going to spend all their time in the field, that's one thing. But even the people who spend all their time in the field, they need to report their observations. They need to be able to write, need to be able to use proper punctuation, periods, and commas, need to, focus on grammar and spelling. The way that people text with no punctuation is not the way that you write a report. It needs to have punctuation, needs to have capital letters to start sentences. It needs to have, spell check. Download Grammarly for free. It'll do all your spell check for you. But these are two cautionary areas that I present to safety pros who struggle. Make sure you do whatever you can to embrace technology and learn to use technology, whatever it may be. And secondly, learn to write if you struggle with writing skills. And it's as simple again as signing up for some online classes in technical writing or English classes to kind of get better at those things. I guarantee anybody out there who struggles in these areas, if you focus on them and you grow in those areas, it's going to benefit you. You're going to be offered better jobs. You're going to have greater job stability. And, overall, it's just going to improve your effectiveness. So I hope that that helps. I'm always happy to take any questions people have or any coaching I can provide. Drop me a note. I'm happy to do that with you. But I think this is a really key and critical area that people need to focus on. So we'll see you next Wednesday.